Archie, the mystical green beanie.
Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? I am the mystical green beanie, and with 2016 being over, I thought I'd give you guys a quick rundown of my personal top 10 favorite comics of 2016. Now, this list is in no particular order. I enjoyed all these comics fairly equally throughout the year, so without further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is Flash by Joshua Williamson and Carmine Di Giandomenico, as well as a few other guest artists. This series has been amazing so far. As you guys know, I've been loving the series. I even made a whole video about how much I love it. It just feels like classic Flash, and I loved it. It was goofy, but at the same time, it was very dark, much like a lot of the best Flash comics, and that was just great. Also, the art was fantastic. I know I'm in the minority in this regard, but I really did love Di Giandomenico's art because it's very noirish, and that works great with the first story arc, which is a crime story. Also, it's perfect since he was the artist for one of my favorite Spider-Man comics of all time, Spider-Man Noir. And coming in at number 9 is Superman by Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. Now, I won't lie, I am a very recent Superman fan. As you guys know, Superman was a character who I read occasionally, but in the past few years, I've developed this love and appreciation for the character that I didn't necessarily have before. And this book represents everything that I love about Superman. And the thing that really catches me about this series is how it manages to feel like old school Superman while giving him a completely new status quo. As for the art, again, I'm probably in the minority here, but it gives me some heavy Ed McGuinness vibes, and I'm like one of the 5 people in the entire world who actually likes Ed McGuinness art, so that's that. And number 8, Emporis by Mark Millar and Stuart Immonen. This book was one that flew under my radar, but I remember picking the series up because I thought the cover for one of the issues looked really cool, and I flipped through it, and I loved it. It's Mark Millar at his best. Now, I know that Mark Millar isn't for everyone, but this is a really cool science fiction epic, and I feel really confident that this is something that everyone can pick up and enjoy. And if you don't, well, at least you have Stuart Immonen's art to look at, because he draws really weird space stuff, and almost every splash page can be used as a wallpaper. So, there's that. And coming in at number 7 is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This book is damn near 3.5 years old, so if you haven't bought into the hype yet, then you most likely never will. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. And at number 6 we have Doom Patrol by Gerard Way and Nick Darrington. This is awesome. It's funny, I was very apprehensive about this series at first. I love Gerard Way as a musician, but I've never read any of his comics. Mainly because I never knew he wrote comics. That said, I picked up the first 2 issues and I thought they were total crap and were just weird for the sake of being weird and was a poor man's attempt at trying to out Grant Morrison. But then I read issue 3 and everything came together, and now I am loving this series. But that's just me. And number 5 is Batman by Tom King, David Finch, and Mikel Janin. This comic is beyond words. Again, I'm in the minority here, but I think that this is the best Batman series that we've gotten since Grant Morrison left Batman Incorporated. The art was a little tough for me to swallow at first because I typically associate David Finch with Marvel, but I got over that by issue 3 or 4. And then Mikel Janin came in and absolutely blew my socks through my brain hole, so you can take that however you want. All you need to know is that Tom King's Batman is phenomenal. And coming in at number 4 is Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis, Sarah Pichelli, and various other guest artists. Now, this is a series that I've been following since I was 8 years old. I first picked up Ultimate Spider-Man with the tail end of the Venom story arc, and I've been reading this series ever since. So, by now, I'm a ride or die Ultimate Spider-Man fan. And whatever you may think of Bendis as of late, I can tell you this. Ultimate Spider-Man has always been the book where he gives it his all, and I'm really glad that he's been able to continue that trend. And at number 3, we have Vision by Tom King and Gabriel Hernandez Walta. This book is brilliant. It was easily one of the best comics that I read of 2016, and if you haven't read it yet, shame on you. And taking the number 2 spot is Archie by Mark Waid and Fiona Staples, as well as a few other guest artists. Now, this is a weird one because I'm an adult-ish, and I feel weird reading comics about teenagers because I've been out of high school for a while-ish, and I feel weird being so engaged in the lives of these teenagers because by now, I feel like I know the answers to all their problems, but it's also Mark Waid, so he makes it engaging. And I find myself really feeling for these high school kids who are, without a doubt, far cooler and more interesting than I was in high school. And last but not least, coming in at number 1 is Black Hammer by Jeff Lemire and Dean Ornstrom. Now, this is also a comic that flew under my radar, but I picked it up at issue 4 and I thought it was really interesting. It's kind of this tribute to Silver and Golden Age Marvel and DC comics. You have Abraham Slam, who is a Captain America analog, Golden Gale, who is a Captain Marvel analog, Colonel Weird, who is an Adam Strange analog, Madame Dragonfly, who I think is a Madame Xanadu analog, but I'm not sure, Barbalian, who is a Martian Manhunter analog, and Talkiewaki, who I'm not entirely sure, but I think is an analog for Vision, but again, I'm not sure. The point is, these heroes were fighting the Anti-God, who is supposed to be this universe's equivalent to the Anti-Monitor, and they all vanished in a crisis, and they're now trapped in this weird alternate universe, and for the past 10 years, they've been living on this farm. It's really cool, it's really great, it's weird, but you should definitely go read it. Plus the art gives me like really big Mike Mignola vibes, and I love Mike Mignola. But yeah, it's great, go read it. Anyways guys, those are my top 10 comics of 2016. But what about you? What were your favorite comics of last year? Let me know down below in the comment section. Also, if you like this video, hit the like button, share, support the channel, and if you want to see more videos like this, my friends, my buddies, my comrades, my brothers in arms and sisters and disters and blisters and blasters of friendship and is magic people folk, all you have to do is subscribe. I am the Mystical Green Beanie. Thank you for watching, and as always, until next time, adios nachos, adios.